Mediators Beyond Borders Congress. It's been a real journey. Who started at St. Malo in 2008 with the Rocky Mountain Retreat. And the second year we went to New Orleans, for those of you who are new and don't know. And last year we were in Washington. And this year, by the good grace of UCLA and the student group Model United Nations UCLA, I'd like to thank Alexandra Lieben, who's the Associate Director of the Merkel Center for International Relations, and Millie Tran and Assad
Ramsnall.
Thank you, Assad Ramsnall, who are student coordinators for UCLA and we really appreciate all the real craziness that you guys had to go through the last 3 days. I totally get that. So thank you all for your willingness to help us. I want you to look for people that have this little blue tag hanging off of their name badge during this time. If you're new, and we have a lot of new people, it's really exciting. And so these people are your board of directors, and they want you to know who they are. They want you to come and talk to them. And so I'm going to just kind of go through and just, if you'll just stand up when I call you so that everyone can see you. And I'll start with our President Emeritus, Kenneth Cloak, who's right here. Where's Lynn Cole? There's Lynn Cole by the door. Laura, who's in charge of membership. You're going to hear a lot from Laura. You can hold your applause. Deborah Laufer, who's at the table in the back. She's our secretary who keeps all the minutes and makes us absolutely sure that we haven't forgotten anything. Rachel Wall here in the front row. And many of you know Rachel. And Judith Gilmore. Please stand so you can see Judy. Alan Gross over there by the table. Jean Kling, who's in this very stylish houndstooth jacket that I want. I'm totally in line for a garage sale. And Jean's also been in charge of our amazing fundraiser. And if you haven't gotten tickets for tomorrow night at the Napa Valley Grill, you can see Jean about that. Now, I know I've forgotten Jack Boyson from Baltimore, Maryland. Please find Jack. Stand up if I've forgotten you, because I'm a crazy woman. Zara Elias, how could I forget Zara? But you're going to hear Zara on the President's panel because she is the board director in charge of all the student chapters across the nation and the world, and she's done an amazing job this year. Who else did I forget, or did I get? Is that everybody? And Ashok Hanakar, who came all the way from Bangalore, and you're going to get to hear Ashok on Sunday morning. Anyone else? I also want to take just a moment to introduce our new association management team. I'm so excited about them. Jaffe Management from New York City, David Jaffe, would you stand up? And Kristen Darga, who's our executive administrator for Mediators Beyond Borders, and they're going to make us look like we're not this ragtag group of, weeping, come be peace with us people, They're going to give us a real storefront in New York City, so we're very, very happy to have you here. And I'm going to turn the rest over to the man who I owe everything to the last couple of months. Steve Goldsmith has come in and just done an unbelievable job pulling everybody in the LA team together. And I want to thank him and give him a minute to tell you about Los Angeles.
Wow, welcome to Los Angeles. First, let's get a few logistics for today out of the way. As you know, you're in Ackerman Hall. Restrooms are on the 3rd floor, so you take the stairs or elevator up to the 3rd floor. It's right there. As you know, coffee in the rear. There are, in your binders, at the very, very back, is a list of the workshops with the rooms that they're in. There is also in the program the descriptions of the workshops and photos of the presenters and all, but this will give you a guide to where to go. And like this morning, there'll be volunteers out in the hallway directing you to a room, or if you have a question or whatever. And the Ackerman rooms are, of course, are in this building. This is the second floor, even though it's really the fourth floor. But you know, when you build on a hill, that's what happens. And then the third 35 will be upstairs. And then there's a building called Viewpoint, which is on floor A, or the first floor, or whatever. But the Viewpoint is on A, and it's a large room. And then when there's references to Kirchhoff, and actually at the sometime around 3 in the afternoon, we're going to move the whole show over to Kirchhoff, which is the building right there. It kind of feels like it's the same building. This is a modern building that's Gothic or something. But we'll, you know, just walk all over there and be in a different room with a very different feel. It's a very nice room. If you have questions, have needs, have concerns, somebody named Heather, where is she? All right, over there by the desk. You go to her, and she will deploy a volunteer to help you. If she's not available, you can contact me. We're going to, as you see the time, we're going to run a little bit behind because we've started late and things take sometimes a little bit longer, but we'll catch up at lunchtime. But I wanted to give you, how many people are not from LA? Woo! Okay. So I don't know whether you've been here before, but to get you oriented, when the sun comes, this is called the marine layer, and it will be sunny. We guarantee Los Angeles is sunny, something like 300 days a year. And when you come out in the afternoon, the shadows, that's the other way is the ocean. So for all you East Coast people, it's the exact reverse. The ocean is to the west. The sun will set in the west. It will set over the ocean. So you'll have some spatial disorientation. And to the north are the Santa Monica Mountains, which is also, you know, that's Hollywood for hills. Over exaggerated, you know, and it's through that pass in the mountains that the Spanish conquistadors came up here and established all these missions and conquered the Chumash Indians who lived here. And you know, my wife comes from India, and where Ashok comes from, and there something is, you know, if you ask something, oh, is it old? No, it's only 700 years old. Well, in LA, ancient history, 90 years ago, this was a ranch, right where you're sitting. Maybe 50 years ago, it was a Chumash Indian village. And they called this the land of smoke, or the valley of smoke, because mist would come off, and now we've replaced that with our own, what we call smog. But it's much better, much better. And if you all notice you have catalytic converters, that's because the California Air Resource Board made cars put it in, and so they put them in everybody's car. And so California has done a lot of things for you guys. And also going north through that pass, another 100 miles, is Manzanar, which is where Japanese citizens of America in Los Angeles were interned and taken from their homes, their property seized, and they were put in a concentration camp just to the north. To the south of us, just a few blocks, is the end of Route 66. So if you drove here, you must have come through there. And further south, we have the Watts Tower, and famous for the Watts riots. And you know, LA is a real capital of conflict. We have the Crips, who are in blue, and the Bloods, who are in red. And then we have the UCLA Bruins, who are in blue, and the USC Trojans, who are in red. And our history has shown us the Crips and the Bloods have been able to mediate. But we're still waiting on the Bruins and the Trojans. I mean, there are definitely people who grow up in high school here and won't go to USC or won't go to UCLA because their family are Bruins and Trojans, you know. Ridiculous. But LA has had a period in its time when there were 900 murders a year, most of those gang members. And people went out and did mediations between gangs and built peace treaties between them. And now we only have about 300 murders a year. But mediation has played a big role. And further to the east is downtown LA. Yes, there is a downtown LA. We have the Lakers, we have Staples. It's totally changing. If you get a chance to get out, go to downtown LA at night. There's lots of stuff happening. Further to the east are the mountains and the desert and our suburbs of Las Vegas. And I'm almost getting to the done, so don't get nervous on the time. But the other thing that's interesting about those mountains is there's a telescope up there, Mount Wilson Observatory, and that is where a man named Hubble discovered that the universe is expanding, that we don't live in just one little galaxy, but there are billions of galaxies, and changed the whole view of everything. And it's also where readings were done that really finally confirmed Einstein's theory of relativity. And Einstein went out there, and you can go and take a tour of it and sit in the seat that he probably sat in, and you can definitely see look through the telescope that Hubble looked through. But Los Angeles is a mecca of people from all over the world. We're the gateway to the Pacific. Our school systems have 135 languages. We have tremendous conflicts in those schools, but also we have a lot of peer mediation programs. We have a lot of people, as Rodney King 20 years ago said, can't we all get along? And mostly in Los Angeles, people use conflict resolution to get along. And when I talk, it always sounds like I'm going to talk forever.
Yeah.
And people get nervous. But I'm really about 30 seconds from being done. Because the thing that you guys missed by coming so late is the Oscars. And you're a week late for that. But in LA, we always give out Oscars, at least mythical ones. Just have to imagine this here, because I want to give Oscars to the people that have really made this happen. Starting with Nan, who was Alexander, who's already been mentioned, and Wendy, who made the facilities all happen. Wendy Forrester, who's here somewhere. Raise your hand. Stand up. Yeah. And Oscar.
Our MBB intern with red hair.
And our Oscar goes to Heather Wallman, who has been coordinating the volunteers along with Curran Espo, and also getting a lot of the paperwork organized and everything. Karen, stand up, or whatever. And then back in Pittsburgh at the headquarters, a woman named Debbie Stanlin, who's been emailing all of you guys over and over and over again. She was just indispensable. That's why everything got here, got ordered, got printed, and she's just wonderful. And then, and Jim Lingo, who is here somewhere, and he helped on so many different... He's outside smoking, okay, killing himself slowly. But he has helped me set up video. So this whole thing is going to be videoed, or a large part of it, and be available in a few weeks on the website. And finally, I want to say welcome to all of you, and the final tribute goes to you guys, and the final Oscar to those people who are out there doing those mediations out in the world. I was so impressed yesterday. I saw they had their meeting, and they're all scattered amongst you, and they are the real stars of the show. And let's give our all selves a round of applause.
Thank you, Steve. I'm going to introduce Rachel Wall, who's going to lead us through sort of leading the world outside and bringing us here into presence.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. I want to thank Steve for giving us a sense of where our bodies are, a sense of location here. And we're going to take a few minutes to bring our spirits here. I've been talking to people this morning, and I've heard lots of different qualifiers like